Uganda has the lowest labor costs in East Africa. So once you come, set up your factory, you'll still have the lowest labor costs. So we are now talking to you as an industrialist. You'll make money, you'll not pay a lot in costs for labor. But what is also important, the Right Honourable also talked about that, was the skills of the young people. Uganda, Kampala is the youngest city in the world. As per last week, I checked the statistics.
During the Prime Minister's visit to Italy for the European Corporate Council Summit, it was revealed to the Milan investors that Uganda has a youthful, skilled and cheap labor. Uganda currently has no minimum wage bill, and many investors have used this avenue to exploit the Ugandan labor force.
For an investor to consider to invest in a particular location, a country or an area, there are a number of considerations. One of them is the labor, the available labor. If it's very expensive, the investor will consider a number of things to come. But if labor is cheap, it will be one of the incentives that will attract an investor to come into a country, which at times is also good, but at times it's not good.
That Uganda's labor is cheap. Cheap in what sense? One of it is that we don't have a minimum wage. So somebody can start to pay any salary. That makes it cheap. The second one, that even when there is a salary, the salary is paid in Uganda. If you evaluate it to $1, they are really cheap.
What the Prime Minister did was something good, because in one or the other is promoting, business. He wants business people to come and invest in Uganda. And any business person, if you tell him that we have labor available and which is not expensive or costly, will be attracted to come and do business. So for that, I credit the Prime Minister for doing that.
According to members of Parliament, government is using the absence of a minimum wage bill to attract many investors, which has actually worked for them. But they say it is high time that government started putting safeguards as far as protecting its citizens is concerned.
Now what happened, on the why not government policy, was first of all to attract them, the investors, by inducing them to because of the available cheap labor. But it's also very important that after that investors invested has come and he has recouped all his capital investment, it's also very important that the lives of the Ugandans is also taken serious to consider how much are they paid in those particular industries, say if one is investing in an industry. But I think government has not done that. The labor is so cheap that it doesn't benefit Ugandans.
How do we protect the labor that we have, so that our people are not exploited? For me, that is something very important. You imagine an investor comes, you give incentives, you give free land, you do all these tax holidays, and then at the end of the day, this person is getting a lot of profit, but is exploiting our workers, our Ugandans. So I think we must do something. Then you find that when they come here, don't they give these small casual labor jobs to our people? You'll never find a serious accountant there. You'll never find a serious lawyer, whatever. So they just exploit. I think we must have serious agreements, when we engage these people, to the effect that all these key positions, if there are 10, 8 of them should be by Ugandans, unless it's something that requires expertise that we don't have in Uganda.
Honorable Mugole Stephen has however advised Ugandans to start joining trade unions because for them they have a minimum wage for their workers. The legislator says whether Uganda gets a minimum wage or not, Ugandan labor remains cheap and the only way out is through trade unions.
As the president and our government continues to deny workers a minimum wage, there is what we call trade unions. Every worker is just supposed to join a trade union. We have trade unions cutting across the entire sector. 43 trade unions. You have to join one of the unions in that sector. What does that mean? That every organization where there is a trade union, there is a minimum wage. Because the unions negotiate what will be minimum for that organization.